Welcome to Mujeres Unscripted, where we amplify the voices of women through unique stories and shared identities. We're Christina
and Renee,
and each week we dive into candid conversations about culture, career, and personal growth.
Join us as we celebrate the strength and resilience that connects us all. This
is
Mujeres Unscripted.
Welcome everybody to Mujeres Unscripted. This is Renee.
And Christina.
And we want to welcome you and hope you had a wonderful holiday break or a holiday day.
So far, so good, right?
Yeah, been enjoying this break a little too much.
I know. We're going to week 2 of our break.
I know Monday today. It's a Monday. I was like, no, this time next week I'll be back at work. No. But so I did want to talk about Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, I heard the news.
100. He was 100.
Yeah, and still making an impact.
That's
right.
Yes.
Still making an impact on society, on community.
Building houses in his 90s.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in my 40s and I've never built a house. So, but yeah, he's. I make fun. He was a decent president. I was like, but the joke for me is always, but he had morals and he stuck to his morals.
Hey, he might have not been a firm or take charge that kind of a president, but he definitely had morals. He had values that he stood behind, right?
Unwavering, so, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw that before his presidency and after his presidency.
Mm-hmm.
He was the way we covered it in our history course, he was a nice guy,
mm-hmm.
Fit for the job, but sometimes the job is just too overwhelming, and but no one says he wasn't a good guy. He was always top tier,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was a sad one to hear, because he was a good godly man he was very humble, very humble man. So
I mean, he made some things happen. Peace in the Middle East,
right,
is not because it's because of him.
Mm-hmm.
Get that saying. It didn't happen out of nowhere. He took the lead there, but sometimes we just don't give credit to good guys, right?
Right.
We just,
because it wasn't by force.
Yeah.
It was
mutual respect amongst those leaders, but we really, it's only a very brief moment in history that we cover his presidency,
right?
So it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yep, good guy.
Did you watch any football over on Christmas? I know. Why am I asking you?
Of course I watched football. And of course I was getting some slack from my husband's friends, and they're teasing me about just got on the bandwagon. I'm like, excuse me. But my quarterback is part of my Texas Tech University, so no, this isn't bandwagon. I did need a team to root for, because as much as I love the Cowboys, I needed to root for somebody. And so when Mahomes came out, I was like, that's my next team. I needed to make a decision. Thank God I did. So, well, no, we're on a streak.
Well, I need y'all to beat the Broncos, because I need the Broncos to lose for Miami to advance.
Okay, we'll see what we can do.
Did you watch the halftime show?
No, I it was Texans and who? Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
I didn't watch it, sorry, but I heard it was a big halftime performer.
Yeah, it was Beyonce.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, she is from Houston.
She's from Houston.
I like it.
Yeah, but we might get canceled because I say this. I'm not a Beyonce fan.
You know, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I liked her in Destiny's Child. I liked them as a group. I even bought her first CD, but then afterwards it was like, okay, you know.
yeah.
Um, so I didn't
You,
watch it. We were getting ready. I was getting ready because the older kiddos were coming over, so it was kind of just in the background. But I didn't really pay attention to it.
uh, you didn't analyze the show. You
Nah.
didn't. No, no. I noticed that Post Malone was a guest star.
Oh, okay.
Like
And you spoke
of the.
earlier that you are now a
I,
fan of his.
I'm a fan of Post Malone, so I heard that, but I was like, it wasn't enough for me to sit down and watch the show. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I go scrolling on Facebook and these fans. It
yeah.
feels like they like know this person individually. Um, but it's just like, oh, they're mad that Beyonce's a halftime show. I'm like, well, who's they?
Who's mad?
I
I
didn't
mean,
hear.
I watched it, but I was mad.
If it's, and I'm like, I didn't hear anybody complain about
No,
her being the halftime show.
no,
No,
I don't.
like I said, it's not my cup of tea, but at the same time, I'm like, it's just a halftime show, you know. Um,
Hmm.
which excuse me, I don't know if you know this, I've performed in a couple of halftime shows. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
happy.
Yeah.
When? When was this? Tell.
There were college bowl games.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So, when I was at Sunset, we would have summer camp, and it would you would always at the last day of camp you try out for All Stars, and if you get picked for All Stars, you would go to a bowl game that year, whatever.
Nice.
So my junior, in between my sophomore and my junior year, I tried out. I made it. We went to Orlando. Oh no, Miami, because I was in two. So my junior year, we went to Miami, and we were in the Orange Bowl. Supposedly, it was the last Orange Bowl that was played at the original Orange Bowl stadium.
Gotcha.
And now, as I look back and I really get into NFL football, Peyton Manning played in that game with the Volunteers.
Wow.
So I did that halftime show, and then the following year, my senior year, I went to the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. So,
Nice.
but just going back to these crazy fans, it's I don't know, like they just come out the woodworks. Beyonce has the Bayhive, you have the Swifties. It's just at some point it's just like you're really that mad that someone doesn't like your person.
It's it's okay. They're making. Listen, they're making billions of dollars. Guess what? It doesn't affect me. I don't contribute to it. It's okay. I mean, as long as they give back to communities, I'm good with that.
Right.
And if I enjoy their music, I enjoy their music. But to get that crazy about an artist, cool. All right.
I don't.
But as our famous Taylor Swift says, you gotta calm down.
Yeah.
Just calm down. It's okay. It's
It's
she's not
okay
going
to
anywhere.
think differently. Like, I'm not understanding. I know a lot of
Yeah.
the music I listen to is not mainstream. It's something that
Yeah.
I just like, and I'm okay with, them not people, people not liking it, but it's just like, when have we become a society that if you don't agree with me, you're wrong and you're stupid?
Right. It's just becomes real quick, like dismissal of
Yeah.
anything you have to say or share from that point on. It's a little
Yes.
crazy. Yeah, like you said, it's a super fan crazy. Super fans gone crazy.
Speaking of superfan gone crazy,
Oh,
Yolanda Saldivar is up for
what?
parole in 3 months.
Yeah, 2025,
March
right? I
2025.
think some crazy super fans are counting down
I think so too. If they let her out, because
if they even let her.
this is her first time before the board.
Yikes. I don't know. I don't know. Is it still too close to home? Those feelings?
I think so. I
Everybody's watched. You watched the documentary.
well,
Did you-
like I said, I watched the beginning of it.
Okay.
And the first part, because I was like, well, let me hear this lady out. Because if she's got mental issues, then okay, which we've
Mm.
seen with Ronald Reagan, John
Mm-hmm.
Lennon, Jodie Foster. We've
Yeah.
seen
This. Yeah.
where the guy with Jodie Foster, her stalker, believed they were in a relationship with So I was just like, okay, maybe there's some mental health issues going on. And she she says she does it, but she kind of blames Abraham, Selena's dad,
Mm-hmm.
and that she thinks that that's a reason why she should not have to have gone to jail because he made her feel that's what I got from the beginning. And I'm like, no lady, you still put your finger was on the trigger.
Yeah.
you
You did it on purpose.
we all know Abraham's an asshole. We all know he's
Yeah.
money hungry. We all, since the Dinos came out,
Right.
back in the 80s, we've known that was his dream was being lived through Selena. He loved the money that was coming in. We get that. We understand that. But you still were the one that pulled the trigger.
Yeah. At that point, it's just people taking responsibility for their actions,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think certain people are going to forget about that. So.
And it transcends cultures, because I was looking on, it was a short or reel, so I don't know if it was on Facebook or on Instagram, where like even the African American community is like, we're waiting for her to come out. So it's not
Mm,
just Hispanics that are like, all right,
mhm.
put her in the street. I honestly think that if she does get released, she's not gonna last 24 hours.
Yeah. I mean, she's going to have to ask for, um, you know, a safe house. She's going to have to ask for, different identity.
Yeah, she's gonna have to go into, what is it,
She's gonna
witness protection kind of thing.
witness protection. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like that lady that supposedly the jury found her not guilty for the death of her little daughter back in Florida.
Oh,
You
Casey
know, I mean,
Anthony.
there you go. And I mean, I don't know where she's at. We don't know anything.
Mm-mm.
So that that's maybe something, Yolanda, if you're listening, maybe that's something you need to consider. Because we do have some fans that are devoted to Selena and her memory, and yeah.
And it's crazy because some of these fans weren't even born when Selena passed away. I was 15, so I was like a sophomore, junior in high school, and I remember when it happened, and it was just like crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, some of these fans, like I said, they're younger than that, because it's 30 years. Oh,
Yeah.
50, yeah, 30 years.
Wow. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, but okay, so at what point though?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, here's the teacher in me, I guess you can say, but at what point, and these are type of questions I would even ask my students, at what point does someone fulfill their contract
Mm-hmm.
with the state and and a sentence? At
Mm-hmm.
what point do you were sentenced to this long, you've served that sentence, at what point do we say, hey, they served their time, it's time to come back out and leave, and do, because but we've heard of many cases where people go in, serve their time, come out, and
Do it again.
do it again, or you know can't transition well. you know I mean, I just, yeah, do we leave people alone once they've served their time?
I
Do
think
we let jumpstart a new life?
I think the ones that take accountability for it and truly feel remorseful, depending on what the crime is. I mean, if it's like you were caught with drugs, okay, maybe go to a rehab, something like that. But from what I little bit I saw, like I didn't even get through the first episode of her thing. It didn't sound like she was taking accountability at all.
Mhm.
And that's where I think I have an issue with. It's she's like, yeah, I did it, but it's because Abraham did this, and to me. No, no, you physically did the act. So I think that's one
Yeah.
for me.
Well, Abraham wasn't on trial.
Right.
right? And it was her. And I'm with you. I totally agree that accountability, everyone should take accountability, no matter the sentence, but yeah, what happens here?
Yeah.
It's a great question. I mean, it's great. It'd be great to see what ends up happening here if she just
We'll
goes
see.
into obscurity and we never hear from her again.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll
Right?
see. March 2025. 3 months away.
I started thinking, why would she even conduct this interview now and this documentary now? And maybe because she needed to get paid because she may be coming out. So what do we again, there's reasons why people do what they do. And
At
I
certain
mean,
times.
at some point, yeah. And then, we've got another famous case coming up, the Menendez brothers. They're going back to
Right.
court. So I mean, just all this stuff that happened when we were young, 30 years later, it's all coming back. Did they serve their time? I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to watch.
Okay, so I've been watching the documentaries of the Menendez brothers too. I'm a big, we've talked about this. We love the killer documentary kind of things.
Yeah, serial crime.
Yeah. So they had two trials.
Yep.
The first trial, they had a lot more witnesses on their side saying, yes, I saw their father treating them like this. Not so much the act, but the way that they
Right.
would treat
Right.
them and some actions that they had when they were younger. And that one led to a mistrial. Then the OJ case happened.
Took a lot of, yeah.
And the state of California, I don't know how or why, but the Menendez brothers came up again. Their second child came up.
Hmm.
And pretty much what I understood from the documentary is the state of California didn't want the same kind of debacle that happened with OJ. And so a lot of those witnesses were not allowed to be at that second trial. So
They could. Yeah.
if you take those
Yeah.
witnesses away, of course it looks like they were just rich kids just mad at their parents.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they focused on just the will, right?
Right.
What they would be getting out of the murder, and made that the whole motive for their crime. But the second trial, you're right. They couldn't even mention the abuse in the second trial, which led, right, at least supposedly, what's the word? Allegedly,
Yes.
led to their parents' demise. But um, it's yeah, that was interesting when that came out in the documentary about how California just did not want to lose another trial like they just did in with OJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo.
And did you know there's a Menudo connection?
Yes,
Did you watch that
I
one?
know. I sure did. I watched that one. I was just like, whoa,
Wow.
if this person, part of this group,
They had
came
no
in
connection to
contact.
the brothers.
No connection, but somehow, was connected to their dad,
The same
and that
way.
happened. Mm, you know, I don't know, you know,
Yeah.
and clearly there was abuse happening within the Menudo
Oh
group
yeah.
too, right? So it's like, I, I mean, I don't know. People don't want to talk about that, especially young boys, men. They don't want to talk about their abuse when they were
Mm-mm.
young. No, no one wants to share that. And so, yeah, I kind of tend to lean towards that story, that side of the story.
Yeah. Because, like you said, if it was just the brothers themselves, but you have this person that had no idea who these brothers were. He's born and raised in Puerto Rico. They have no connection. And he's saying the same thing that the parent did to the Menendez brothers was done to him.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
More. I mean, it's gonna come out. It's gonna come
it is
out.
going to come out. So, but
Yeah.
I hope they get their day in court again. You know.
Hey, right? Yep.
So, how was your holidays?
Oh, my holidays are great. I was happy that Chiefs won, of course, the day of. Uh, but no, we had a good time. We had presents. I did have, my husband was sick, and so I was taking care of him. So we didn't go out and do a lot of activities, but we stayed home, took care of him, and we passed out our gifts. No, it was good, nice and quiet,
We
nice
had a
and
pretty
quiet.
quiet, as quiet as we can be with all the kids in the house. So, it still gets pretty loud if you have all of them in the house with the grandbabies and stuff. So,
Mm,
it's as quiet as we can have it. But, it was a pretty quiet night. I think we were in bed by 11. So it wasn't
there
even
you go.
a wild and crazy thing. So,
Yeah.
but,
Oh yeah. But then I wake up. Then I wake up to the TikTok videos of children screaming at their parents. And it's like,
yes.
what in the world? But, I mean, like kids would open their gifts and like, this isn't what I wanted. And then just throw it across the room. And it's like, your dad just spent how much on that? Whether it's the product that you wanted or not. Oh, I, I would Jack, if you ever, and it's like, Mom, what are you talking about? But no, it was interesting screaming at your parents like that on Christmas Day. Yeah,
And
we wouldn't see Christmas in a while, that's for sure.
right? Christmas, birthday. I don't know if y'all do Easter presents, all of them. Nothing.
Three Kings, no, no, we
No,
do it.
no. Yeah, Oh, that's coming up too.
Yeah.
January 6th. But
Uh-huh.
but no, I have seen these you're right, of ungrateful kids and parents just laughing. And I'm just
Yeah, or not spanking them as soon as that one valve comes out,
right.
and that it's like, excuse me, you don't know. There's. It's like, let's record this happening instead. I
And
would like
post it.
put that camera down,
You know,
grab my belt.
so I mean, even if okay, say I'm just like we're gonna record this situation, it goes left, and the kid has a
Hmm.
meltdown. Why would you post it?
I know. I think that says a lot about you as a parent.
Yeah.
You know, when you're recording your kid's reaction, you're letting him get out of control. I mean,
So then that goes back to, are you recording it for the reaction or are you recording it for promotion? Because when I
mm,
record my kids stuff, I don't put everything I record on Facebook. I
mm-mm,
don't put everything I record on Instagram. A lot of the stuff, and it's not even them being bad. It's just something that like I want to keep between me and my kiddos. I don't want the world to know. And so are you going in with that intent of, oh, I want to catch their legitimate reaction, or I want to get a good video to post?
mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like, because a couple of those videos, I was like, someone's recording this, and then the other parents like, what are you doing? Why did you throw that around? It's like, no, no, there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
um I don't, I think as parents we're allowed to set boundaries. We're allowed to set some standards in how you speak to me and how you react. Like you said, thank you.
Yeah.
That is the word, right? Thank you. Thank you. Might have not been what you wanted, might not be what you
But you
like,
got
but
something.
you got something. And the word that I should be hearing back is
Thank
thank
you.
you,
Thank
right?
you.
Mm,
And sometimes we'll go to family members and they don't know my kids very well. So we'll just be like, hey, they got you something. They thought of you to at least get you this. You don't like it, just grab it, put a smile on your face and say thank you. And we'll figure out what to do with it. Because
yeah.
because it could be a second aunt that got them something. And of course that second aunt doesn't know anything that they like. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my kids like like you said, the thought. They put thought of you into something.
Mm, yeah.
And
Yeah.
but again, we've become, social media has destroyed this earth.
Well,
As we
no,
do a
and then,
podcast.
then as we're taking chances on this podcast business, but no, but then I've always wondered. I'm like, that's what's brought into our classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
How do I,
That meant that
because
state of mind.
I do say no to students.
And they get
I
mad.
do say, yeah, and they get upset and they're like, well, why? Excuse me? Because I, the adult in the room, said no. And that is final. So, and especially when I'm speaking to, juniors and seniors, luckily, I know I have upperclassmen, but when I say no, they're like dumbfounded. Like, how, what, did I just hear you correctly? Yeah, I'm allowed as a teacher, the adult in the room, to say no to you.
Well, as a
And that should be
person,
okay. Yeah,
just
that should be okay. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, it's like walking into a grocery store or department store and then hearing kids screaming. I mean, oh, I'm like,
okay. Well,
because they
I have
want
to take it back about that one
why?
because Simeon would be the kid that was screaming, but it was before we knew he had autism.
Oh, but see,
And so
yeah,
that's why when kids scream now, I'm like, okay, I don't know the situation because I was
uh,
that mom like I don't know what's wrong with him. All I did was take him from the car, put him in the buggy, but at the time he was nonverbal and so he would just get frustrated cuz I wasn't understanding whatever he needed and he would just
right.
scream. And I know there were
Mm,
plenty of times where I just told Ethan I was like I just don't want to go because they're going to scream.
yeah, yeah. Wow. You're Thank you for putting that in my head because but I'm very critical. I'm very
But
critical
now, if I
about.
see the kid screaming because the mama don't want to give him a toy, that's something
Mhm,
different.
mhm. Yeah,
But yeah, because before I'd be like,
yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with this kid.
Wow.
We found out later
Mm,
what happened, but yeah.
but yeah, I mean, you're right, and I would have to know your situation, to. But I was always the parent that if the boy made a scene, not that he did, because he was the quiet one,
Mm-hmm.
but if we were at a restaurant, I was always the person that yeah, I was trying to enjoy a good meal,
Mm-hmm.
quiet meal, you know, um, but I don't think I should ruin other people's meals.
Right.
That was me, and so I would pick him up, say, hey, let's go ahead and put this to go and make it
Right.
a night. But yeah, that was, people are like, well, let their kids sit there and continue, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, yeah,
Keep.
that's hard.
Yeah. No, I was the same way. Like even like there was years where me I just told Ethan I don't want to go nowhere just because I don't want to deal
Mm,
with the looks. And if someone says something about my kid, you ain't gonna talk about my kid. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it just with
I wouldn't say anything, but I would definitely give you the opal and like, mama, you better get that kid.
and we would. I think we would try for like we would go to the store or whatever and try for like 5 minutes, and if we couldn't get it under control, we'd be out.
Yeah. Oh no, I was not the perfect parent, trust me. But he threw a tantrum in the grocery store, and I walked away from him, and that silenced the
Ooh.
shit out of him. And
Hmm.
so he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to do that again." No,
No,
So yeah, no, I hear you.
so but it's time.
No way. I
Yes.
swear, our conversation, it feels like we talked a lot, but maybe because we had different topics.
Yeah, but I still want to know, guys out there. Let us know what you're watching. Let us know what you're watching,
Oh.
because we started that last week. We still have a week. Comment. Let us know what are some good shows to watch.
So, okay, I'm glad you said something. What happened?
I just broke one of Simeon's toys.
Oh no. The cat?
No, me. I did. I was sitting here playing with the arms, and the arm just fell off.
Oh, it's not a
Shh.
pop-in?
No.
Um,
That's all.
I know someone needs a toy.
Well, I bought it for him, so I know where to get one from. Let's get him
Okay,
another.
good.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Speaking of screaming kids,
This just shows you were totally unscripted.
it's about to happen.
Oh,
Don't let him see it.
I'm not. I'm not. Oh my god, I can't believe I did that.
In the middle of a scene here.
Oh, my poor. Okay. All right. So yeah, let us know what shows you're watching.
Yeah, Armando and I started watching. It's on the Roku channel because it's an old show.
Uh-huh.
But for us, it's new because I've never seen it. It's called Till Death, and it is hilarious.
Who's in it?
It's about a marriage, a 25-year marriage, and it revolves around their marriage and what partners have to like uh, compromise in. And I was like, you know what? And they have a newly married couple as well, and so you see their logic and the old married people logic.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious.
Is
It's
anybody
called
famous
Till
in it?
Yes, the big guy from Ray.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Everybody Loves Raymond
Okay, I know which one you're talking about. I never watched it, but I know which one you're talking about. Okay. All
It
right.
is hilarious. Recommend it. I know it's an old show, but I think it definitely focuses on what married couples go through, and yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I like watching those shows because I'm like, okay, we're normal. Everybody goes
Yes,
through this.
like oh, okay, she's a little okay. I get it. He's a little just like him. Okay, good.
You just gotta have the crazies compatible. That's what it is.
Yeah, we'll side eyed each other during bed while we were watching. Like, yeah, you do that. So
Oh,
it's
see, I will tell him. I was like, that's what you do. But he does. He'll tell me. He's like, oh, does that sound familiar? And I'm like, I don't do that.
well, you've been married longer than I have, so I can't do that just yet. I'm still like trying to feel him out. I'm kidding.
No, that's
All
funny.
right.
That's funny though. All right, but guys, go ahead, like us, subscribe us, turn them notifications on, and we'll catch you next Monday.
Yeah, we'll be back at work, so don't be
So
mad
we
at
might
us.
sound more like this than like this.
It's full of joy.
Full of joy. All right, guys. We'll see y'all then. Take it easy.
Bye, everyone.